All right, all right. What's going on, party people? Uh, Hopefully, just giving y'all heads up. The internet's been acting a little funny, so we gonna figure it all out. We will figure it all out. All right. So let me see here. Oh man, I gotta fix a few things here. Nope, that is not what I want. Let me see about this here. Okay. That's already set. All right. I thought I had messed up something there. Yeah. So what's going on, party people? Yeah. Yeah. And I can tell you now, I don't know what it is. I think, well, it shouldn't be because I turned it off. I don't know. Something's running in the background. And ever since I got this Windows 11, which I wasn't really trying to upgrade, I wasn't paying attention and clicked the wrong button. And so yeah, it's been acting a little funky. So you might see the video freeze um and everything. And if you see that, that's all that's going on. All right. That's all that's going on. Yeah, so then again, I don't know if it's YouTube because YouTube be tripping and all of that sometime. This been your busiest month? Okay. Now you know me. I would love to have you hop on and tell the party people about it and everything. But I know you might, that's right, you might be at work. So if you at work, I feel you. And I'm gonna be eating. I have my bento box. Yeah, baby. I got my bento box today. And so I'm treating myself. I'm down to once a month with the bento box. I was overdoing it, y'all. I was severely overdoing it. So just the bento box. Got my chicken teriyaki, got my salad, got my dumplings, oops, and my chicken teriyaki rolls and stuff. So really eat. And that thing is good. Mm-hmm. I figured you was at work. Yeah, it looks good. Mm-hmm. What's going on, Caprentice? What is going on with you, my man? So I figured I'd hop on here as always for our Fritter Friday. Right now it's non-Fritter Friday. I had to lay off them fritters for a little bit. But um man, things are getting interesting out there. Let me see. I'm not even gonna mess with that. Let me pull this up. Last week I gave y'all some real estate people websites for y'all to look at and check out and follow. And I hope y'all have. Now, I'm not even asking y'all to subscribe to them, but things are getting interesting. Um Things are getting very, very interesting out here with inventory. The inventory is starting to come come up. Um yeah, they're starting to get more houses available to people. The Biden administration has come out with a plan for, good to see you working from home, man, to increase homes, decrease the availability or the number of homes. So they're trying to put together a plan for that. That's going to take 5 years. So what does that mean? Let me get my, oops, got it. Sorry about that. Had to get that straight. What that means is that if you trying to get this stuff, there we go. Sorry about that, y'all. What that means is that they're trying to get it to where people can buy homes. Because for several years, for the last couple of years, you've been seeing a bunch of apartment complexes just popping up all over the place because they didn't want to build homes. Build an apartment complex, stick about 2,000 people in there. But then after the people get in there, the rents go up. They can't afford to be in there. Yep, see you in June. And okay, yeah. You got my stuff. Yeah, I sent it out last night for the Notary Success System. and everything. And sorry, I told y'all I'm hungry. So yeah, y'all know Fritter Friday relax. All right. Y'all know Fritter Friday relax and everything and all of that. So let me see. Hold on. What's going on with Shantae? What's going on? Okay. All right. Hold on. Sorry about this. Signing coming through for next month. All right. So you gotta always have your head on the swivel with this stuff. But yeah, okay. Well, maybe we get you on a little bit later, Shantae. Tell us what you learned if you are at work, because everybody seems to be at work right now and all of that. So, but they're trying to build um new homes. They're even trying to come up with a way of taking somebody's land and putting a house on it. So if you got a house and your land is big, they're talking about possibly taking your land or asking you to put a house on there, because there may be enough room for you to put a second house on there, even if it's just a smaller one. They're talking about putting two houses on one lot. So a lot that could really be for one house, they're actually saying, okay, we're going to put a little bit smaller house on there. And I've been in some houses and they're really tiny. And that's, and that's okay to start off with. But next thing you know, okay, at Walmart, got you getting your oil change. But you're at, you it's good to start off with if it was just you or you. And okay. Roger that. If you're, just you and maybe a kid or two, but then you start getting more kids, bigger, your kids get older and all of that, that house could actually run out. And it goes back to where they probably doing these starter homes. They building these homes to where they call them starter homes, where you just basically got like a living room, dining room, kitchen all on top of each other. Not a whole lot of space. It's just enough, it's comfortable. It looks very nice, but there's no growth to it. You can't expand onto the home. So, and you're saying, well, what's all this got to do with Notary? Well, they're doing all of that. Guess what? If they're talking about over the next 5 years a plan to increase the number of homes, what does that do for us? That's more business. They're talking about increasing the number of homes. And if you're in an area where they're trying to do that at, which I think they're trying to do it nationwide, guess what? You are going to be in a position to do those closings, which means you got to have your act together now and have a good relationship with people so that they will be willing to pick you for the closing. That's what all of this means. And you have to get yourself into a situation where you can actually hold on, I'm just trying to fix something here, where you can actually be the person who they call on. So that means there's going to be new construction opportunities, refinance opportunity. Let's just say somebody does have a home that can put a house on there, another home, then that person may refinance their house to be able to build one. And they build a house and then rent it out to somebody, or whatever the case may be. These are things that the government is trying to do. And as a notary, as a business owner, you need to be really keeping your eye out on that kind of stuff. You really need to be keeping your eye out on that kind of stuff so that you can know what the trends are in your area. And one of the websites, to me, the best website to understand the home trends, the marketing trends of what's going on, is this site right here. You really, really, really need to be connected with his site because he has a lot of stuff. I'm a member and everything. So I get to see the member posts and stuff, and he does a lot for the members. He does a whole lot for the members and everything. So this is a good site to get involved in if you want to understand what's really going on out there in the home buying market, selling, investors, all of that. You need to be able to keep up with that kind of stuff. Another gentleman, uh, da, 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 Scott Walters. He's a very good. He's a real estate investor. Talking about home builders stopping construction, short sales. Short sales. This is a good video here about short sales because guess what? They still may need. I don't know a whole lot, but I believe they're still going to need a notary for that. If there's a mortgage involved, they're going to need a notary for that. So if there's a deed that needs to be notarized, that could be us, okay? But you got to put yourself in that position, you know. Landlords in massive trouble, rents dropping, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of good information out here, and I highly encourage you to go to these individual sites so you can get an idea of what the heck is going on and just be aware, because knowledge is power. And if you're talking about your business owner and you want to be able to be in the best position possible, having the right knowledge is power. Because after you got yourself together with being able to notarize, you can do Canva, you can have a website, you can market, you got your direct clients. Now, what are you going to get your knowledge base on? What are you going to educate yourself on? And understanding the real estate market, what's going on is where it's at. I'm working with I finally got a direct client. I'm having a wonderful time working with them. It's stretching me and teaching me some things. It's causing me to really be on my P's and Q's. Uh, excuse me, more so than I would with a regular refinance or even a regular purchase. Doing new home construction is different. It's a different animal altogether, and they have different requirements and all of that. So I had to, step my game up, and there's nothing wrong with the way they're doing things because it really does work. I just had to straighten myself up and get myself in a position to where it's like, okay, this is how they roll. Now let me figure out how I can get in there, So the stream, there's like a school of fish. They're going this way. Okay, let me boom. Sort of like double dutching. You're doing a double dutch. Okay, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you got to get your timing right so you can hop in there and bounce and jump and stuff. While they doing this, you don't want to be doing all of that and everything. They going up and down and you all over the place. So I said, okay, I got to adjust. I got to do this. I got to do that. So I made some key adjustments. And and I tell you, it's gonna be awesome. And I can't wait till my stuff gets here. So one of the things that I did was I saw that I was gonna have to do I had to buy the Raven scanner and yeah, I had to get the Raven scanner because for what I'm going to be doing, that's going to work out a whole lot better and everything. Yeah, I'm trying to do the best I can to help everybody out because I'm trying to get y'all into the right mind frame. If I can get y'all thinking in the right direction, that's going to open up a whole lot of doors for you because you'll be able to make decisions for yourself on the fly. Excuse me, and be able to take advantage of opportunities that are presented to you. So I'm excited for y'all and I'm excited for this opportunity. So let me type this in here. Now this scanner it ain't cheap. I ain't gonna lie to you. You know, I had to let me show this to you. I had to really think about this one. I was like, do I really want to buy this scanner? I ain't gonna lie to you. I was like, man, but when I evaluated what was going on with me, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna have to do this. The touch screen is much bigger. It's a lot more compact than what I have, and it travels a whole lot better. So this is what I'm getting. I looked at the videos. The videos was excellent, educated me on what needed to be done. So I put the link in there if y'all interested in getting one. Um, when I looked at what I needed to do for this client, I was like, this is going to help me step my game up from them. Right. So you put it on your wish list. Look, I've been looking at this for over a year. So don't think that I'm like, oh, I just saw this yesterday and I hopped out here. No, this is something I've been looking at for over a year. And I was like, okay, this is nice. Okay, yeah, yeah. Now let me caution y'all on something. Let me caution you on something. The main reason why I'm getting this is because their process is that they scan and email back. Excuse me. A lot of the good high-end scanners, even my brother's scanner that I have over here, can email. The problem is the touchscreen part is just too tiny for me, for my fingers and stuff. And I wish it was bigger. If this was bigger, then I would have bought me another one of those to have with me, because I'm at the model house and they got the power and all of that. So you can email directly from the scanner to them. One of the other things I like about it, and I'm gonna get to the caution part. One of the other things I like is that you can reorganize the documents on the screen. So once it scans, it shows you a preview, and you can touch and hold and then move this document here and move that document over there without having to do it on the computer. So when I saw that feature, I was like, I'm sold, and I didn't know that. Had I known that, or I would have just bit the bullet and bought this thing a year ago. But I never really looked into all the features. I just knew people liked it. Well, here's the caveat. And one of the things that you have to be careful of and why people like it, as I'm talking about, this client wants me to email them the closing package. And it's not even a whole package, just selected documents. Not every company wants you to email them documents. So the thing I've learned is that a lot of notaries, they want to get yeah, thank y'all for hitting them like buttons, people. Thank y'all for hitting the like button and sharing this out. A lot of notaries like to just say, okay, I'm gonna scan and I'm gonna just email. But did they ask you to email? If they didn't tell you to email the document, you don't email it. So that could also be a reason why some notaries have gotten blacklisted, because you're sitting here doing stuff in a certain way that they did not ask you to do. Was it more efficient for you? Yeah. But you have to realize when you upload to the portal, the notification goes out to multiple people for them to download and look at the documents that you uploaded. So if you email the document back to the signing company is operating a lot of times as the middle person. And if they're not being the document reviewer, they're just making sure they got a notary involved. You email it to them, then a title company's like, where's the documents? Well, I emailed it. To who? You didn't email it to us. Well, I emailed it to the signing company. That's why we have you put it in a portal. So you got to make sure that if you're going to get a scanner such as this, that you make sure you know whether or not you can email it. And that's the same, and the same goes for whether you can upload it to Dropbox or Google Drive and then send them a link to it. You got to find out whether or not they will allow you to do that, or they want it that way. So some people get the right Raven scanner so that they can sort of cut corners on what they're doing. And I get it, but you got to find out whether or not the corner you're trying to cut is one that's allowed. You see what I'm saying? So, and right, it may not be secure or any of that. So you have to find out from them, and that's where the compliance part comes in. Are you being compliant with their requests as to the way they want you to handle these documents? Notaries call me all the time saying how they want to make sure they're doing stuff right, because these are important documents. They're more concerned, they're real concerned about, it's an important document. So that's why I need to know what to say about the documents, and I need to understand them, and meditate on them, and pontificate over them and all of that. But then after the signing is done, you just sort of frivolously scan the documents and send it out as an email. No encryption, no security, no nothing. But yet you're whining, and I'm using the correct word because this is what happened with some people. They're whining, not all, about how important it is for them to know the documents and know what to say about the documents, and talk about the documents, and ask, and answer questions about the document. But yet they will scan the document and drop it in an email rather than follow the process and upload it to the portal. That kind of stuff gets you blacklisted. I was talking to a young lady the other day. She was saying how she was getting orders, and lately she hasn't been. And she was saying she was struggling with doing the printing, which I'm gonna actually do a printing class here in Virginia. I have another printer, 6200, and I just got the second tray for it. So I'm actually going to be doing a printing class, a face-to-face printing class, showing people how to print documents, because I've done videos on it and I've talked to people, and it seemed like people can't get it. They can't, I'm being as detailed as I can. They can't get it. So sometime in June, I'm going to be doing it's a part of the Notary Success System, but it's going to be a separate session for that. And you're going to get it. Now, for the people who've taken the actual Notary Success System course, the training with me, you'll get that free of charge. But if you don't need the Notary Success System part, and you just need the printing class, then I'm going to do that. And I guarantee you, watching now, everybody's going to be like, I'm going to show you how to print. Take my class. I'm going to show you how to print. Take the class if you want. That's on you. All right. They weren't thinking about teaching y'all that before I just said it. Keep that in mind. So that's what I'm looking at doing, and everything. So, because some people are struggling with that. People are struggling with that and all. And when you email documents, the title company can get dinged by sharing, yep, non-private, yeah, and we should only email if it's encrypted, and that we are told to do that, So you can put passwords on documents. It's very easy. If you have the full version of Adobe, you can put a password on the document, and typically you put the password on the document, then you turn around and you email you send them the document, password protected, and then you're supposed to send in a separate email the password. It's supposed to be something separate. Now, if you're doing it through the portal, let's just say they have access to the portal, you probably can put a comment in there with the password in the portal, and then email them the document. But again, as Shannon just said, you have to get permission. You have to get permission in order to do that. And see, a scanner is a scanner to me. But I didn't see, as great as the Raven scanner is, I was like, how is that going to really help me, do my job better than what the brother is doing? And now that I'm in a situation where I'm working with a new home builder, I got to drive an hour to these appointments. I said, I need something that's going to be portable, this, that, or the other. Matter of fact, I just found a new battery pack. Excuse me, portable battery pack as a backup to have. Because even though I'm supposed to be in the models, but just never know, the model might be out of power. Who knows? So these are the kind of things that I'm thinking of. But I'm saying all of this to say, the opportunity for us to make money out here in this business is clearly there. And we have to be in a position to do so. And I'll be honest, as I keep sharing with y'all, if the information you're listening to is not geared to helping you get this business, then to get any kind of business, then you may need to get new information. And the way I got this here opportunity, and I still consider an opportunity because I've only done two with them, and I have a third one on Tuesday, and I'm excited about it. I mean, because see, I don't have a problem driving. I'm using a rental car, so there's no miles on my car. I'm just paying for gas. There's no maintenance costs out of my pocket, so I'm just paying for gas, all of that kind of stuff. Hey, what's going on now, Al? So I'm cool with it, but the way I got this opportunity was being a good notary and another notary recognizing that and understanding what I'm doing and that okay, I know what I'm talking about and I'm not talking out the side of my neck. And then they presented an opportunity to me, and I was like, I'll be more than happy to help out. Contacted the company, talked to them, be more than happy to help out. And now I've done two closings with them. It really tested me because I really wasn't prepared. I didn't know fully what I was going into. I was just thinking of it from my experience that, hey, this is just a regular closing, come in, and you're done. Because I've done, purchases before that only took 20 minutes, 30 minutes. And this is different. This is new home construction. This is way different. So the expectation and what they need, I had equipment, but the equipment wasn't sufficient to meet the need to the level that I wanted it. Did I get the job done? Yes. And the best part is that no one ever came back and said, hey, you didn't notarize anything correctly, or they missed signatures and stuff. So I did my part right. But what I'm putting together in place now is the part that I need to support them with once the documents get signed. They need them back quicker. Okay. Than just doing just the one page scanner and all of that. And I know people will hit me up in the comment section and be like, oh man, you could just get, this scanner and that scanner and everything. You ain't got to spend $600 on a Raven and all of that. True. True. You're right. And if I see that I need to change it and get rid of it, then I will. I'm trying to get connected with some new bills I have been doing. Mm, that chicken teriyaki good, y'all. Um, I think the best way to get in is two different. Well, the best way to get in is to be able to show them that you got experience and you know what you're doing. By having experience and you know what you're doing, that's the number one best way to get in there. I'm just going to be honest with you, because when they talk to you, you got to be able to let them know that you've done this before and you're confident in proper notarizations. The one, that's the number one. That's the main thing, or what you would have. That's what you need to have for them to say yes. To get in front of them to present yourself so that they can say yes, you need to know a real estate agent, who's working either on the buyer side or the seller side, maybe somebody at the title office for that property. You need to know somebody that's in the mix of that, just somebody in the mix, but don't do a hard sell. Do a sale from the standpoint of, if you ever need a notary, I'm available. And I'm going to tell you now, for those of you who don't like driving, you better throw that out the window. If somebody is willing to pay you some C notes, and I notice I said plural, to go do a closing. And with these closings, I only have to print one copy. That's it. So I print one copy and I go up there, less than 100 pages, and I sit down with the couple or the person and get this done. And it's very straight to the point. They do an excellent job with the documents, all of that. And that's all you got to do. Yeah, I would drive an hour for that. I'm hitting the road, boom. I would drive an hour, get them their clients taken care of, and then roll on back home. I have no problem with that. Because if I don't do that for them, somebody else is. And if it's about me earning revenue to take care of the family, then I need to take advantage of it. And all that is just giving me what? miles that I get to deduct for my taxes. You get what I'm saying? Nope, I have not looked into them because there's no need for me to get a office since I'm mobile going out to people. Right now, there's no need for me to do that. For myself, I have a nice house. I have plenty of space. I don't have kids running around that's going to be jumping across the table and all of that kind of stuff and touching stuff and messing with my buttons on my desk that rises up and down. So I don't necessarily need to that. And that's another thing with running a business. If you need to go get us another place, make sure you're bringing in the revenue to be able to pay it, because it's not a business write off if you can't pay the rent. You get kicked out, you get evicted out of the place. What kind of business write off is that? That's a bad thing on your credit report. So you got to make sure you can do it. Yeah, I mean, that person who shared it with me, it was a 2-hour drive for them. No, I wasn't driving to go print. I was saying I print the documents and then I go drive to the closing, which is an hour away. No, I'm not driving an hour to print. No, I'm driving an hour after I print. I drive, and then they got this stuff really set up. If for some reason you they get you the documents late or going to be late, they have a printer at the site and they can print remotely to that, and then you have your documents right there. So it's a win-win. But yeah. So that's one of the things. A lot of people are trying to move their operation quickly out of their house. I would say for the next 2 to 3 years, you really need to try to, if you can keep your stuff in house, do so. Like with my wife, with her with her building, that's where I do the training at. Now, if you're the type of person who are like, well, I want this fancy office, don't take my training. You're not going to get that. Okay. Because the reason why I also do it at her salon is because it's not crowded from the standpoint of a salon, but from the standpoint of what a notary would want, it's like, okay, I got to really make myself comfortable here. Yeah, you do. You got to, because you never know. You walk into a situation, and let's just be real. You walk into a customer's house, a signer's house, and they got stuff all over the floor. They got cat hair all over the couch and stuff. And you're allergic to cats, or you don't want that stuff on your pretty nice, velvet outfit that you have on, and you walk out of there with cat hair all on your back. You like, nah, I'm gonna stand up. I've been having a hard day today. I need my chiropractor told me to stand. So you like, I'm standing, and you need to be able to operate in any environment. Okay. I've done closing standing, haven't done any laying down. Um, but I've done them standing, I've done them on the back of a truck, all kinds of stuff. And many of you have also done that too. Um, but and see, like what you're asking to see here said, Griff, what are the tools? What to do the business? I mean, well, I did a video about. I mean, your normal tools is I mean, you got to have your pens and all of that stuff. Um, Hold on, let me check something. Okay, your pens, your clipboards, all of that. I did a video on that, and everything. All right. Hold on for a second. So I did a video, probably a year ago. Yeah. When was this? I don't even know when it was, but I did this here a year ago, um, on what's in my bag. I just threw a video together real quick, like, I'm not really into those things, but people was asking, and I just went head on, and I'll throw the link in the description. But um, I mean, I think for the most part, we should be able to figure out the basics of what we need. Yeah, so we should be able to figure that out. Pretty simple. What you want, but I mean, it's just the standard stuff that you need in your bag. Pens, all of that kind of stuff. Let me see here, and I'll show you this real quick, and I'll put the link. Uh, I got to add some more stuff too here. Um, and then this here is my Amazon store. Um, and there's a link in the description. Um, and I have all these different items that I use, different things, the printer tray, all of that kind of stuff. So feel free. There's the Raven scanner. I got the black one. I don't like the white and stuff. I like dark colors for my office equipment and everything. So yeah, so the pens, the toner, all of that. I still need to buy this chair. I really want to get that chair. So I gotta. You talking about opening up a signing company? Great book here by Gary Pierre Louis. All that good stuff. So there was somebody who posted something. Where is it? Where is it? Yeah, and then you saying the rent desk space. Are you asking me, do I rent? I don't rent anybody's desk space. I don't rent anything at all. I don't rent any desk space and stuff. If you want to do that, you can. But as I've always shared with y'all, the moment you start talking about doing this, expending money, you got to do orders. You can't sit here and spend money on cups, pens, marketing, all of that stuff, and then turn around and say, I'm not going to take that order because it's less than this dollar amount. You can't do that and be successful, especially if the dollar amount of the order that you want isn't there. If it's there, then yes, you can do that. If it's not there, then when do you plan on making money? How do you plan on making money? If you can't go, because the goal is to make revenue. But if you're not out there doing the work that is being offered to you, then how can you justify constantly spending money on desk, office space, anything, even if it's for just couple of hours? All of that adds up. And if the expense that adds up doesn't get mitigated by the revenue that's adding up, so your expenses is going here, but your revenues are staying here. Expenses, revenue, you got to get your revenue over your expenses. And the only way to do that is by working. And as I always share with y'all, if your ability or willingness to go out here and work is limited because of your personality, like I don't like to do that much work, I don't like to put that kind of effort into it, then I don't know how you plan on running any kind of business. And I've had people tell me, man, I ain't got it in me to be doing no 60 signings a month. No problem. Long as you can make the money with the 20 that you do, I don't care whether you do 60 or not. I really don't care if you can do 60, 70, 80, as long as you are making the money to take care of your family. That's all that counts. Okay. What's going on, Q? What's going on with you, my man? So that's really where it's at. Yeah, sometimes people don't get the alerts. Let me show y'all something. Let me see if I can find it. Oh, hold on. Hold on, let me find it over here. Um, all right. Let me show y'all something for the notifications. Oops. Okay. So when it comes to the notifications, and this is for anybody's site, you see it right here, it says subscribe. Then you see this here, the bell. When you see the bell with the little vibrating things on the side of it, that means you get all notifications. If you do personalized, the algorithm decides, oh, okay, based off of what type of video you've been clicking on and liking, it will send you notification when that happens. So with everybody who I'm subscribed to, I always click all notifications. Now, what helps you get notifications even more is you clicking the like button and everything. So I don't think I'm not sharing any. Yeah, cool. So by you hitting the like button, like I did, when you hit the like button, that lets them know that, oh, okay, you like this kind of content. That's why I'm running it. I'll be saying, and I'm not trying to say, oh, give me likes for money. I'm saying get me likes so that one, it helps you get notifications and then it pushes it out to other people and everything. But if you don't hit the like button on some videos, it'll be like, okay, well, you must don't like that. They don't know that you like it and all of that. And that was yeah. Thank you for reminding me about that, man. Yeah, that is true. That sometimes you have to subscribe and then unsubscribe. And people been complaining about this with YouTube for years. Okay, they've been complaining about this for years with YouTube. That you'll be subscribed to somebody, and then all of a sudden, you're not subscribed anymore, and all of that. I don't know if $800 is too high for. Okay. I thought you. I'm sorry. I was looking at something. I thought it was something for a space. 800 to me, that's not too high, but it all depends on what money you got coming in and not coming in. So I have to bust my butt because my rental price right now is $1,300 a month. And at one point in time, when I first started this business, I was paying barely $700 a month for the rental. So it's over doubled to about 12 to 1,300. But the benefit that I get from that of not having to pay car insurance, well, I pay my son, he pays the car insurance because I'm on his thing and it covers what I'm doing, but I don't have to pay the maintenance and all of that. So you do what you got to do as long as you're willing to work. I'm willing to go out there and work. So if I'm willing to go out there and work and make at least say $1,500 out of the money I make, $1,500 got to go to that car. Everything else goes to the bills. And that's regardless whether I'm making $10,000 a month or just $5,000 a month. I know that the first part of that 1,500, the car, and I'm sitting there looking at when the price drops, I re-rent for the lower price. If you get locked in at the lower price at $800 a month for 30 days, plus you probably have to put a authorized hold or deposit of like $200-300. All you got to do for the next month when it's before you have to turn the car in, you extend the rental and they will extend it at the current price. That's how I'm able to lock in. So if I was to go re-rent the vehicle, it would be at a higher price because it's at the most current price. But if I'm already locked in and I decide I want to extend it, I can extend it and keep it at the current price. And some companies will let you extend for like 2 or 3 extensions. So for 90 days, or some of them, you rent it for 1 month, extend it, and then you have to redo the contract with them. And you just work with them, on that. But for me, now 800 is not too high. But that depends on, again, whether you got the money coming in and whether you're willing to go out there and do what it takes to get that money to come in so you can pay that rental car bill for the next month. You know, I don't have a problem with it whatsoever. So I like it. I'm down with it. Let me switch over here. We got thunder and lightning going on out there. So I wanted to see anybody want to hop on, share what they got going on, any benefits, anything cool going on with you. Okay. Why don't I buy an economy car versus renting? With the for me, well, I had a bankruptcy. I've shared this with people. Had a bankruptcy, and even though I've been in my business for 4 years, there are companies out there that still look at my personal credit. Even though I'm making the money to buy it under my business, the first thing they want is a personal guarantee. And they look at my credit history and they see that bankruptcy and they don't want to loan me money. And then if that's the case, then they want to do what? Give me higher interest rates. So it's easier for me to rent the car. Plus, it's a write-off. And with as much driving as I'm doing, so now if I'm going out and driving an hour one way 5 or 6 times a month or more, I'm putting all that wear and tear on that car rather than my car, the car that I bought. You see, so and I'm not talking, so if you're a person that's high on appreciation values, then yeah, that may not be the best option. And there's nothing wrong with it. You do what is best for you. But me renting a car started long before I ever became a notary. Because when I was driving my car back and forth to Maryland when I was commuting, I wore it out. And I had to start renting a car, and then it just led into it. So I've been renting cars for about 5, 6 years. So this isn't something that just started now. Okay. So a lot of things with me, don't think that, oh, okay, you just started doing it because you're a notary. Now, I was doing these things prior to, and it just flowed into it. Because back in 2015, when in 16, when I started doing Grubhub and all of that, I had a rental car. And I had to and back then I was paying it weekly because I didn't have the money to pay it for the month. So I was paying $152 a week. And I would just each week just extend. And I had that bad boy on extension for 6 months. I'd be extending every Friday. I'll call, yeah, you can extend. And I worked it to where my first 2 or 3 days of Grubhub was just to get enough money to have in a bank account that following week for the rental car, $152. That's what I was doing. Everything else after that I was making, plus I was working my regular job, was gravy. That's what I did. So it's a strategic move. And then when I talked to my accountant and I said, well, should I buy a car? He said, well, no, man. He said, if you can afford what you got, that's a business write-off. You good. I said, no problem, Rob. And that's why I keep it. That's why I keep it. And everything. Plus, I don't like economy cars because I'm not comfortable in them. Not that I'm a big dude, but they just aren't comfortable. And with the driving that's around here, I need something that when I hit that gas, I can go. Because too many people like to cut you off, and I don't like where you hit the gas and you like hit the gas, and then the car be like, oh, you want to go? All right, man, hold on. Let me get myself together here. And then it goes. I don't like that. I don't want to be in no car like that. And I have been. Love your information, Uncle Griff. In fact, you're the only videos for learning purposes. I try to do my best. And everything. That's a good question. House inspection slowing down. Yes and no. I think it's more so depending on the time of the month and the interest rates. I think more so for the interest rates. I really do. I think I hold up. I can tell you because I mean, I've been busy with house inspections this month, and now I got some competition around here. People been snatching up orders before I could get to them and everything. So I've done 55 house inspections this month. Yeah, so I've done 55, and I got one, two, excuse me, y'all. I got three left to do that I'm gonna try to get done this weekend. Well, I'm gonna get them done this weekend. Well, one of them is the interior spray. I got to get with them, but I got three left that I need to get done. So you talking about a potential 58 house inspections, unless something else pops up between now and then. But there's a potential of me getting about 60 house inspections this month. So you're essentially talking about doing two a day. Although I don't get two a day, sometimes it's five or six. Like I had 11 or 12, something like that, 13 in one day. So it can float, but um yeah, the house inspections can adjust depending on what's going on. It can. You're welcome, my man. Okay, just got your stuff a week ago. Gotcha, Al. Gotcha. And hit me. Where you located at? Al says I can't finance a car with my current credit. Double pandemic. Carl looking at went from yeah. The price of the cars have jumped up dramatically. The rental prices are up there. And to be honest, yes, buying a car will be cheaper than a rental. But when people sit there and say, well, we got to qualify you to buy a car, but all you got to do, you could be broke. And as long as you say you can afford to pay that rental fee, you get a rental car. But you can afford to pay $700 a month for a regular car, or even 400. And they're like, well, we don't know. I don't know. I don't know. But yet I'm renting a car at $1,300 a month, but they're questioning whether I can pay $400 or $500 a month. Go figure. That's that credit system that we have here that keeps people from moving forward in life. And I found a way around it by renting. That's all I did. Let's see. Yeah, so let me, and that's the link. If anybody want to hop on, ask questions, don't come up here with no crazy stuff. Don't come up here with no crazy stuff, y'all. So I'm doing the training, y'all know, with the Notary Success System. Um, been having some great training sessions with everybody. That's been coming along. That has been fabulous. So that has been excellent. I'm trying to is this it? Yeah. So yeah, so I've been having a great time with the Notary Success System. Um People have been giving me some good feedback and everything. Okay, and then let's see here. Yeah, you do what you got to do. um yeah, I'm doing whatever I got to do. I mean, again, I started this with the renting 2013, probably around 2013, 2014. So you talking about I'm going on 10 years doing this. And all I do, and I'm gonna tell you, it motivates the heck out of me, because when you know you got that rental fee to pay every month, You do what you got to do. You out of Texas? Oh, okay, Al. Okay, okay. You out of Texas? Gotcha. You out of Texas. Um. Oh yeah, Zip car rental. I did look for that. Yeah, yeah. Zip car rental and everything. There wasn't that many in my area, Shannon. I was going to use those, but it wasn't that many. So, like, if you got something that you're going to do for just a day, you're right. And I forgot about them. Thank you for saying that. Yeah, the zip car is another one. There's another one they got out there called I want to let me pull it up first. This is one that I looked into. Um called Fluid Truck. What's the place called? FedEx. They be using these. Yeah, Fluid Truck. Depending on the city you live in, they got trucks and cargo vans that you can grab and use them. And I'm gonna tell you, that is an option, a viable option, depending on your situation. You may need to use something like a fluid truck if you're trying to, um, you know, do some things. But yeah, so they got, and once you get, you get the fluid truck, and then they give you a code. You have this little app, and then you just go pop open the truck, and then you just go in there and all of that. So yeah. So if you, I mean, see, this is the kind of stuff you do. This is where your mind needs to be at. And I guarantee you, somebody, one of these other little pop up notary people are going to be like, "Hey, I can tell you about Fluid Truck." Okay, you heard it here first. Yeah, I'm taking credit for it. But this is what's going on. I seen this here. I'm like, man, okay, Fluid Truck. Because I was like, well, if I ever had to really go and do a mobile notary setup, I'll be like, okay, if I have to rent one of these, I will. I will rent one of these and everything, and all of that. And yeah, this is the guy I'll be talking to. I've talked to him a couple of times. He's the guy that's in charge of this area. So, you can reserve this. I have an account with them, refundable deposit of 150, um, reservation 100 miles per day, service fee $1. You got, insurance protection. So you're talking about 168, but that fee is refundable. I think you have to fill it back up with gas and all of that kind of stuff. So, um, 100 miles a day, $10. I mean, I ain't gonna lie, it don't take much to do 100 miles around here. And then 39 cents after that. So let me see something here. Let me see something. So let's just say we want to do this. Um, Bump it. Let's just say for a month. Let's see. So that's 1,000. So if I'm already paying 13, okay, and push came to shove, and I had to, and let's just say the price for what I'm renting goes sky high. If I had to, yeah, I would do it. I would do it. Now I would be limited to 100 miles a day, but it is what it is. Then you got 2,000. Okay, so total. Oh, they didn't show me. Oh, okay, for the protection and the other stuff, the refundable fee, service fee, and all of that. Well, if you had to, you had to, but some of those fees come back. So you do what you got to do, even if it's for short term. And to be honest, I was looking at this more for like a weekend. If something came up, I need to do this for a weekend, that's what I would do, you know. But there's options out there for you and everything. When it, with regards to doing your business, you just have to figure it out. You really do have to figure it out and stuff. But if you're not willing to go out there and sacrifice, then I don't know. So Let me drop this link. What's going on, my man?
How we feeling today?
Oh
What's up,
man, I'm
party people?
bento box. I've been nibbling on it. I said I'm gonna treat
Oh
myself.
man,
I think this
what's that?
this
The
the last
salmon?
weekend of the month. So I said I'm gonna treat myself
Yeah.
to bento box and I'm just gonna be chilling because I only had one closing today, 32 pages, but it still took almost an hour because the guy was his daughter was there, wife was at work, and the daughter, you know how kids are when once somebody comes over the house, now they want to be all up underneath the parent
Oh, of
and
course.
everything. And
All of a
the
sudden,
kid,
they
he
interesting.
was cooking the kid waffles and all that kind of stuff. So I just told him, I said, man, do your thing. You're the only signing I got for the day, and all of that. But I'm everything is good, man. Everything is good. Also, real quick, y'all. This weekend, tomorrow, I know it's sort of late for some of y'all. I am doing training with the Notary Success System. I got one person that I'm training. Like I told you, I'm doing 1 to 5 people. So me and her meeting tomorrow at 10 a.m. So if you're in the Virginia area, and you're interested, go to the site that's scrolling across the bottom, notarysuccesssystem.com, and submit your training request. And when you do, also include in there that you want to do it this, tomorrow and everything, so I can get with you and get you with the payments and all of that stuff. I'm not taking people hitting me up directly because I want to keep track of the requests. And when you just say, okay, email me or text me, say, hey, throw me in a class, you're gonna get forgotten. I'm just gonna be real. You will get forgotten and everything. So this is the site, notarysuccesssystem.com. Wonderful graphic by Q. My man did an excellent job as always. And all of that. And I got details about it. Like I said here, I'm not traveling. I'm not conducting this over Zoom, any of that. I say here, do not text, DM, or call me to get registered for training. In other words, don't try to cut the line. Just fill out the form down here in the form. Sorry about that. If y'all want to do it tomorrow at 10, just put in there, May 28th, at 10 a.m. That way I know and I can go ahead on and get you all set up. But I like to keep track of who's requesting and all of that. Just throwing messages at me saying, hey, put me in. Things will get dropped by me. I'm not gonna lie to you. And so what's been going on, my man? Talk to the people.
Oh man, it's just been a busy month building a lot of websites. I was just sitting here thinking, and your little scroll thing, the Notary Success System. If it, I I want to create a jingle for this thing, man. Like I don't know
Okay.
why. Like there's just a cheesy jingle. I think that would be awesome. Like there's no need to stress with Notary Success System. Something along those lines. I don't know, man. We gotta do something
No,
for it.
no signing stress with notary success.
Hey, hey, we have to cut this right here. We can't let nobody.
I
Can't
know,
let
I
nobody
know,
know.
I know, because the vultures, man.
I
They
know.
hovering, they sitting up there. I mean, look, I'm telling y'all, you got to get creative out here. You got to get
Oh,
creative.
speaking of creative, since we do have an audience here, and I think I told you I'm starting a t-shirt shop, right?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, can I give them a quick preview? I'd like to get some of the ladies, 'cause I know some of the ladies are on here right now. I got 2 designs I want to run past you guys. I will look for your comments in the comments section after I show them, okay?
Okay, yeah. You want to share the screen?
Yeah, I'm gonna share my screen right quick. All right, now remember these are for. Am I sharing it?
Oh, hold on. There we go.
All right. Now again, this is t-shirt, right? That doesn't say chick, that says chic, by the way. If you don't understand what chic means, go look it up.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So that's design number 1. And then we've got, hold on, design number 2. Probably gonna mess around with the font a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
but I'm trying to come up with some things for you ladies to kind of get some new notary gear out there. I've seen what's out there. I'm not saying it's bad, but we could do better. You know, if I'm gonna talk my stuff a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
All right, that's it. I can't show you guys no more.
No problem. All right. Hold on. Let me answer this question here.
What we got?
Okay. Well, you get support with me. Mine is 150. Well, I don't know if it depends on where you're at. I mean, where are you at? Miss Young, San Lada. I want to say San Lada. That's what I'm thinking. My wife, she's better with the what they call it, the phonics stuff. You know, me and phonics don't get along too well, so I be jacking folks' names up. But you pay $500 for a class, and there's no additional support after you complete the certification. Nothing in the material explain the notary action, anything. This is what I've been sharing. Look, young lady, on my site. Let me pop over here. Let me share this. On my channel, you hit that join button right there. You hit that join button. The members, y'all know I got all kind of videos in there to help y'all out. I just finished doing one on profiles. If you want to talk about loan docs, all of that, I got videos already set up in there. As if you're a member, you get more direct access to me. If you go on to YouTube and type in Griffin Notary acknowledgement, this video here, brief overview of understanding acknowledgments, even though it's only 5,000 views, which it should be 84,000 or more, but that is the #1 video out there that talks about acknowledgments, probably outside of the NNAs, because none of the other trainers really go into that. Because here's the deal. They don't want to teach notarial stuff. That's not a part of their business model. So if they start getting into that, guess what? You're going to start calling them. And I get a lot of phone calls about the notarial acknowledgments. So if the notary trainer starts teaching about acknowledgments, what are you going to do if you still a little iffy? You're going to give them a call. I got a call yesterday. I was at a closing, and while I was waiting for the funding to get approved, young lady called. She needed help. I'm helping her with acknowledgments, told her to go look at the video. I got to follow up with her to see if she understood it. But that's one of the things that you got to do. This next one here, oh man, the next one here. Oh, let me show y'all this one. Understanding representative capacity. That's a video that you need to look at, because you get that sometimes. And a lot of the what are they? The signing companies will say, "Oh, you didn't notarize the deed," and what it is, inside the deed, they have the notary acknowledgement for the couple. Then they have another one that says representative capacity. Representative capacity means somebody signing as in a representative capacity for someone else. The borrower can't be representative capacity for themselves. So if you was to look up online representative capacity acknowledgement, you will see all kinds of documents out there. The NNA has it, all of that stuff that explains you can't be a representative capacity for yourself. That's somebody else doing it for you. And if that was a person doing it for someone else, then that notarial acknowledgement area gets filled in. And a lot of people don't understand that. You know, they just look at it as, oh, it's a notarial area. You didn't fill it out. Stamp. And you got to actually read and understand what these documents are saying. And there's trainers out there, because they haven't taken time out to read and research what they'll tell you is just sign and stamp everything. If it looks like a notarial area, stamp it. But then what happens when you send a document back, the person who's paying you is like, we didn't tell you to do that. Why did you do that? And the moment you ask that question, why, reality sets in that you've been told some bad information, and you won't dare fess up that you heard it from Fred or Ethel. You'll be like, you just say like, I'm gonna just have to take it on this one. I don't know. I just got scared. And now you're looking bad. And you're gonna look bad either way. If you say you heard it out of a Facebook group or some notary trainer, and these people don't know these notary trainers because everybody think that they know these folk and they don't, you're going to look bad for just listening to somebody rather than understanding what you're supposed to do as a notary, especially if you NNA certified and you didn't contact the NNA. Then you're going to look bad if you say, well, I just did it on my own. So again, you didn't check with the NNA, you didn't call us, you didn't verify with us. So you just wanted to go wild, wild west and just do your own thing. Okay, guess what? You blacklisted. We ain't got time to be dealing with you because you're a grown person, a whole grown person, and you need us to hold your hand. We ain't got time for that. We're dealing with 120 closings a day, and you want us to hold your hand on the notarial acknowledgement that you supposed to know. Next. And this is why a lot of you are blacklisted. And this is what the truth of the matter is. After y'all take this training, the reality sets in, and then y'all get scared like, dang, I don't know what to do with this stamp at all. What you got, man?
Right. No, I mean, it goes back to that conversation that you had a couple months back ago about the seal and when to stamp. If when you see seal, don't stamp. If it's at the end of that signature line, do not stamp. A lot of times we'll see that on the back of the note. Right. You don't want to go stamping that. We should know that at this point, but also just knowing your overall laws within your state. I was talking to you earlier this week about, I think it happened actually at the end of last week, where I had a signing company reach back to me after some scan backs and was like, well, we need to get witnesses on these documents. And I had to let them know that here in Pennsylvania, this is a non-witness state. And they insisted that, I provide witnesses for the signing after it was done, that needed to be taken care of. And so I went above them and I went to the title company and I spoke to them and I said, hey, in Pennsylvania, we're not, a witness state. And they said, yeah, we know. And I said, okay, well, I just want to make sure that I communicate that with you and you can communicate the same message as I am to the signing service, because they're telling me that I need to go do something that I know is not necessary or needed. And I don't want my fees deducted. So everything was smoothed out, but you have to be able to stand on your square when you're presented with situations like that, especially with signing services, because a lot of times they're not even located in your state. So they don't know what your state laws are. They just know that they're reviewing these documents and somebody told them that they needed to be completed a certain way. And if they're not done that way, then that's going to be an issue for you. And ultimately, they're going to be the ones that are going to say, well, this wasn't done, then I'm going to deduct something. So you got to cover yourself.
Right.
Sometimes you do have to go above them and go talk to the title company, so that way you can smooth things out and make sure that you're covering yourself.
Right. And I'll be honest, this kind of talk what me and you doing right now. And look, I know title companies and signing companies watch my channel, and I wouldn't be surprised if some of them wouldn't select me because they're like, okay, well, Griff, you ain't gonna act the way we want you to act. It's not about me acting the way you want me to act. It's about me following my notarial laws.
Correct.
That's what it's all about. And anybody who owns a title company, signing company, or even a lender who used to be a notary should understand that, because even within their realm, they have to follow certain guidelines and laws. You never hear the title escrow or settlement, or title escrow settlement, or the signing company or lenders doing each other's job or telling each other how to do their job. They say, just do your job. I'm trusting that you're going to follow through and do it correctly in accordance with your state guidelines. And if a title company knows that they have to record a document a certain way, but the lender is telling them to do it a different way, they're not going to do that. So the same thing holds true for a notary. If you're
Right.
asking me to notarize a document in a particular way that's outside of the scope of what my state requires, that's not fair. Just so it can get done, but then you're going to throw the notary under the bus or anybody else. Come on, because that messes up the whole deal. Which means then, oh, we didn't realize that you couldn't backdate. Well, that should be apparent. Or we didn't realize that you needed to have valid ID for the person's FKA or AKA name. Well, if I got to have valid ID for the name they're signing in, let's just use the lady name up here. We're gonna get to her question in a second. Rose Segundo, and then she's signing Rose Segundo, aka Rose Hernandez.
Oh yeah.
So she used to be Rose Hernandez when she bought the property, but now she's Segundo. And they're like, okay, well, you need to notarize Rose Segundo, aka or formerly, or either FKA, formerly known as Rose Hernandez. The thing is this: I need to see proper ID in both names if I'm notarizing that signature. So, but then a company will tell you, well, you don't need to verify her former name. Okay, well, if I don't need to verify her former name, why do I need to verify her current name? Because if I don't need to see ID in the old name, what makes it? Why are you asking me to provide you proof of her in her current name? Why wouldn't you want to see proof of her old name that she's signing in? You get what I'm saying? This is the common sense factor, but what it is, nobody's thinking on that level. It's just get it done. And then when you run, and then you have notaries who just sign FKAs, sign and notarize all these FKAs without proper identification. You're not recording it in your logbook. And then you come across somebody like myself or Q who said, whoa, according to my state law, it says this. I called the NNA, and the NNA said you can't notarize Rose Hernandez unless she provides you ID in that name and record it in your logbook per your state guidelines. So you can't notarize that name. And now it's like, whoa, wait a minute. What is wrong with you, notary? You need to do it like everybody else. So at that time, now all the notaries got to act the same. But any other time, it's on me. You get what I'm saying? So that's where we're at with this. And it's not that, anybody's trying to be difficult. We're trying to be legal and legit, because I keep saying we rose our hand and took an oath. And that means something. Now, I don't know if the title companies took an oath, escrow settlement took an oath to do their job. I don't know if the
never heard nothing like that. I said, I've never heard nothing like that.
Right. So out of everybody that's involved in this, we took an oath to uphold the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of our state. That's a big weight on our bodies, and we got to do it right. So for someone to require or ask or request or even insinuate or suggest or hint that we do this outside of the scope of what we're commissioned to do and the Constitution and the laws that we swore that we will uphold is completely wrong. It's completely wrong. Now, for you, Rose, you're worried about not being able to explain the documents. As I always say, and feel free to hop on. The link is in the description if you want to hop on and ask a question, because this is a safe place for everybody to talk and to share what's going on with them. And there's nothing to be embarrassed about, because the first thing is, this is not Facebook. So we don't do people like that. Absolutely. But the thing is this. What is it that you're trying to explain about the documents? Because here's the thing. You never have to explain the notarial area to anybody. Nobody. The only time somebody will ask you about the notarial area is if they see, okay, let's just say I'm here in Virginia Beach, Virginia, but somebody has a property that's in Mooryock, North Carolina. The venue says Mooryock, North Carolina for the state, Mooryock for the city. They see me change that to Virginia Beach. That's the only time, because they're like, why did you change that? No, the property's in Mooryock. They don't understand that the notarial area has to be for the area in which you're living in, or that you're closing in.
Where you're currently standing.
Right, where you're currently staying at, that's where it's at. So they will question you about that. But outside of that, nobody ever questions me about why I'm notarizing the way I'm notarizing. So for my job, your job, his job, or anybody else's as a notary, they don't question us about that. Now, what could they question us about? Hey, what's this document is about? This, that, and the other. The NNA provides some very simple, straight to the point scripts. You can go and share what the script says in accordance with the NNA has talked to you about, and just say, hey, this is it. Here's what this document is about. However, they should read the document themselves. Now, if you're talking about going beyond that to helping them to understand and comprehend why the document is even there, the existence of it, what it's all about, why would the lender want this information? Like the document borrower's consent to use tax return, where it talks about using your tax returns on the marketplace for when they sell the loans. Why does the lender want to do that? Okay, well, we need to get the lender on there. We need to get them. That's not a question you should be trying to answer. So when you're talking about explain the documents, even with saying that that borrower's consent to use tax return is so that when they go and sell, or if they sell your mortgage on the secondary mortgage marketplace, they want to be able to request your tax return so that they can prove that you are a good candidate because you have the funds, the finances, this, that, and the other, and, and the loan was done correctly. That's the whole essence of it. And I got that from listening to a loan officer. The loan officer, somebody had a question. I called the loan officer. They was like, this is the reason why we do this. Once he said that, it got up there in my memory banks. And if somebody was to really like, hey, I don't understand why they requesting my tax returns, I can give them a brief summary now that I understand what it's saying. And if they still don't jive with what I'm saying, let's get the loan officer on the phone. And matter of fact, before we even do that, Fred, why don't you read this for yourself and see if what I shared with you is different? They read it, they're like, oh, okay, I get it now. Go for it, man.
But here's the thing. What I'm finding is a lot of times they've already had this conversation with their loan officer, and most of the time they've already received the documents. Now, if they've read them or not, that's one thing, but the things that were necessary for them to understand prior to, they've already agreed to online. They just haven't signed. So all they're doing is signing in person. There's really not much that they're not aware of by the time that we get to them.
Correct. Unless they've been playing around.
Aloof. Yeah, unless they're aloof.
They've been aloof and they just never, like, the lender sent them stuff and all of that. I've done closings where the daggone the borrower was supposed to e-sign documents. A couple of weeks ago, I've had that, and they never e-signed them. Yeah. And they asking all these questions. Had they e-signed the documents, those questions would have been answered. So there's not a whole lot that you can do about that. It's like, one guy told me, like, oh yeah, they emailed me and gave me an option to look it over, but I ain't feel like doing it. So I figured you would just tell me everything I need to know.
Like, oh, sorry.
I'm like, okay, well, no, sir, you needed to look into that yourself, so you can have somebody who basically is a little bit on the lazy side. They're unwilling to do what it takes in order to learn or to be, learn what's going on with these documents, because it's their documents, it's their money. That's their money that they're dealing with, and they don't want to, to mess with it. So that becomes a problem in everything. But Rose, the main thing is just making sure that the first thing you're able to do is actually notarize the documents properly. Once you got that down pat, everything else will fall in place. I don't worry about, if they ask me questions, and I tell them you can ask me any question that you want. And the reason why I want them to ask me the question is so that if I have to interpret for them because they don't know how to explain themselves, I can then be able to do that too for the loan officer and everything. So, right. So like, let me see here. Hold on, pull up this here. I want to show y'all something real quick. Like, as a, let me fix this. All right. That's done. So let me see here. All right. So like this document here. Let me take rows down for a second. So like this document here, this is the borrower's consent to use tax return. All this means in a nutshell is that you're certifying that you apply for a loan, you agree that the lender reserves the right to change the mortgage process, that you understand such and such, that I verbally have written and authorized the customer report. I further authorize the lender to do such and such, and I authorize the lender to do ... And that who it may concern that you give them permission to release certain information. Because the question becomes, how deep are you trying to learn these documents and know this stuff? So I sat down one day and I just read it. I've never purchased a script from the NNA or anybody, and I just read this and I was like, okay. So to me, it seems like they're certifying that the information that they gave is true. So let's just look at this first part. It says, like right here, it says, I certify, the main thing is right here. I certify that all information is true and complete. I made no misrepresentation in the loan application or other documents, nor did I omit any pertinent information. That's the whole crux of this document, borrower certification and authorization for the certification area. That you certify the person, the signer, that they was truthful on this loan document. And then here, I apply for a mortgage to the lender. As a part of the application, the lender may verify information contained in my loan application and other documents required in conjunction with the loan, either before the loan is closed or as a part of its quality control program. Now, let me stop right there. As a part of its quality control program, this is the part that can get a lot of notaries in trouble. If you don't do your notarizations and recording stuff correctly, this way they can get you, because let's just say the borrower and the lender and the loan officer was doing something sneaky, stealing somebody's mortgage. You didn't realize that, and then they do a quality control review and see that something wasn't right, and they say, well, where was the notary in all this? Did the notary not see? We see, Jane Smith, FKA Jane Henderson, sign. Well, do we have an ID that shows that Jane Henderson, that she was ever a Jane Henderson?
And there's a really good question in the chat. I don't know if you saw it. Just to piggyback off of this, somebody asked, what kind of ID can you use if there was a formerly known as or an also known as?
Okay.
One that I've used in the past was a marriage license that showed her former name and her spouse's name, which also had her maiden, her married name on there as well, which that was allowed to be used. And I just scanned a copy of that, and that was good enough to go.
And in Virginia, we can't use that.
Okay, see, in Pennsylvania, we can't.
Yeah, in Virginia, they give us a list, and they told us in Virginia, no vital statistics for birth certificates or marriage certificates. Got to be a photo ID.
Yeah, they were okay with the marriage certificate because there was nothing else that existed. They had been married for so long.
Right. And then it says here, number 2, I authorize you to provide to lender an investor, any investor whom the lender may sell my mortgage or third parties necessary, ... The lender or investor may purchase, that purchases the mortgage may address this authorization to any part named to the loan. So all this is just saying, I'm giving them permission to share my information if they decide to loan. That's what I'm saying. You overthinking it, people. When you start talking about, I need to get into this and read, everybody, you don't have to be, you can be a great notary without fully understanding this, because this is a document for them to read. And to me, it's a concern if you get there and the person is like, I don't understand any of this. And if the person said they don't understand any of this, then in my opinion, that's when they need to take time out to read over so that they can. Because how can am I really, okay, two things. Am I really empowered and am I really educated enough to help them understand what they need to so that they can feel confident in signing something that they're telling me to my face that they don't understand? So am I empowered to do it by my state? If my state says that's what my role is to do, am I empowered by being educated to do it, meaning somebody trained me on these documents on how to do it? If I am, then cool. But if I'm not, and this is my first signing, do you really expect me to go in here on my first signing and help somebody who's clearly not fully aware of what they're doing and why they're doing it? And now I'm a brand new notary, haven't been given any training on any of this stuff, and I'm supposed to go in here and do this thing, and I'm supposed to make sure that they're comfortable signing it. That's what you want me to do? Signing company, title company, lender? I don't think so. If it is, then just say that up front, that we understand, Q, you're new at this, and we understand you don't know nothing, but what you're going to have to do is make sure that they who don't know nothing knows this at the end, and we're going to call and verify with them. Did Q explain this document to you? That they don't do that. Once they see them documents come back and they notarize properly and they can be recorded at the courthouse, they not even think they done moved on. And you as a notary, you're sitting here beating yourself up before you even get started over how you're going to explain a piece of paper that you don't even have to notarize. And even the ones you do have to notarize, they're signing it stating that they understand it. Their signature on the document is because they say they understand it.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So, if we were to go into a hospital, or if we were dealing with somebody elderly, one of the things that we have to check for is to make sure that they are of correct mind and sound mind to understand what they're signing, and they're doing it upon their own will, right?
Right.
We have to make sure that they're coherent. What's the difference between being in that situation than being at somebody's kitchen table and they say, I don't understand this? At that point, even if they're on the phone with somebody, they're a loan officer and they still don't understand. At that point, would we not be looking at the situation the same way as we would with somebody that's elderly or in the hospital? Like if they're saying, I don't understand, we shouldn't proceed.
Yeah. You shouldn't proceed. It's not, I don't understand, notary, make me understand. No, it's you don't understand. You're not understand. And I've been in that situation where the person, I think maybe twice, and I called, and one of them was the guy was married, or they was married, and the person was just really, the guy was just being a jerk. And this is the other side of the house. There are some signers out there that like to mess with people. They like to test you. And one guy was like really just being difficult. The other person truly was just like, I don't know what's going on. I bought the house and now they told me I could refinance. So I'm a refinance because they said I could get a good deal. They told me this would be good. This would be good. So I'm like, okay, well, did you not want to do it? Well, I don't care. I mean, it don't matter to me. I can pay my bill whether I do it or not. Okay, so then what's the concern? I just don't understand none of this paperwork. I got on the phone with the loan officer or somebody. I forgot who it was directly, and I got somebody on there, and I was like, the signer is really communicating me that he is completely unsure about why he's even doing what he's doing, and I think somebody needs to have a conversation with him. We ended up doing it, and this is one of the things that I don't like that signers do. And sign the company's title company. Now, I'm not saying I don't like signers because y'all take my words wrong. What I'm saying is one of these actions they do is they have a problem and you're trying to work with them. And then they finally get somebody on the phone and they do this here. They get the phone and walk away.
Yeah.
And you don't know what's the conversation They walk away. So that's part of the reason why I will call
Speakerphone
and put them on speaker so I can hear what the heck's going on. And that is my prime learning opportunity. So now I can learn what's going on. The majority of the stuff y'all hear me say about these documents when I explain them is coming from other people who has explained these documents and who I've called, and they were like, hey, this is what's going on with this document, Mr. and Mrs. Johnson. This document, the purpose of this document is ... The loan officer and the title company knows it better than me. So when they say that, I'm like, oh, okay. And the information is such that you can just easily remember it. It ain't something that you got to sit here and write a dissertation about and highlight and all this. Like, oh, okay, this is what this document is about. Got it. Okay, cool. And everything. And that's what I do. And I'm gonna tell you, it has worked tremendous for me, to do all of that. What somebody put up here? Something about some plus size girls.
Oh, we got 3X all the way.
Okay. I wasn't gonna put it up then I was like, okay, who's talking about some plus size girls? I was like, hold on, Lizzo in here? I'm like, hold on now. Wait a minute. Y'all ain't about to.
That's the biggest it goes up to.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, the ID. With the ID, honey, is depending on what your state says. It really boils down to what your state says and all of that. I know in Ohio, the second song, or you could do credible witness.
Right.
I've only done one of those, but you could do credible witness and everything. I suggest if you're going to do credible witness, go to your state guidelines and contact the NNA and verify the proper way for your state to do that and all of that. And then now, all the way, always getting Connecticut, Massachusetts, Boston, one of them states or cities, we got Matherin. Yep.
Oh, what's good, brother?
What's going on, bro?
What's going on, fellas? Just over here, just wrapped up with some stuff.
We Notary's unsealed.
That's right,
man. Hold on, as you guys can see at the board, I was wrapping up with my son schooling for today. You still had a Griffin Q?
What's going on, lady?
Hey, young lady.
Oh man, what's going on with you guys? What's going on with you guys? I heard Griff talking about credible witnesses.
Oh yeah, I try to stay away from them and everything. But yeah, credible witness. I was just saying that if you can't, about verifying the ID or somebody who's signing in the FKA or AKA, you still need to see the ID. And a couple of people have had their married name in their driver's license, but their former name, maiden name, still on a passport that wasn't expired.
Yeah, but
so I've used that. I've used that. Or they had a military ID in one name that wasn't expired and a driver's license in another name that wasn't expired. So, you could have that. Or they had they had their driver's license from a previous state that was still valid, and then they had a current driver's license and all of that. So that's what I've seen and everything. So we were just saying that, in understanding these documents, the only area nobody questions us about what we're supposed to do as a notary while we're trying to notarize stuff. All we do is, they see what we're doing and they don't bother us about our part.
No.
So everybody's concerned about trying to know what to say about the document to the customer if they have questions. And I'm like,
I just call the lender.
Right, call the lender.
True, that's what I'll be doing. As soon as they start asking me a question I have no idea about, look, you give me a second, I grab that phone, speakerphone. I put it right in front of us. And we know, I was like, okay, so I'm here with Mr. John. Mr. John has a question regarding this document here. Would you mind explaining to him exactly what he's signing? That's it. I'm not going to try to explain it. Like I read the title to you, but that's about it. But as far as going in depth, I'm trying to sound like I'm an attorney. I'm not an attorney. That's not my job. That is not my job. Someone else get paid way more than I'm getting for me to come out here to explain these documents to you. So I highly suggest you guys are using, as far as your point of contact. Do not try to give advice. Like I've been saying that for a while now. Do not try to give advice. Don't try to be like the smart one in the room, because what happens is you give the wrong advice and something goes wrong, and they're always looking to blame the notary. They don't care how many signing you've done for them. They don't care if you've never made a mistake. But the minute you give the wrong advice, you take it upon yourself, and something goes wrong, guess what? They coming after you. It's always the notary's fault. So just keep that in mind. It's always the notary's fault. The signing companies don't really care about you like that. Whether you go direct, at the end of the day, they have to say if they're behind, and you have to understand that you are running a business. So you have to be willing to conduct yourself as a professional, as a business owner as well. So don't take that heat. Like, it's not worth it. It's not worth your commission.
It's not. You can be real professional with it. And if they ask you something, just be like, I'm sorry, that's a question that I really can't answer for you. But if you'd like, I can get the agent on the phone right now.
Yep.
And just keep it simple. You don't have to feel bad about not being able to answer. You don't have to feel bad about not going into the document. That's not your job. Just peace out on that. Just say, I'm sorry, that's a question I can't answer.
That's it.
If you'd like for me to, I can get the agent on the phone.
Yeah, and that's the best thing. Then Griff and you also mentioned the credible witness. I've actually used a credible witness here in Massachusetts a couple of times. Okay. My first time being exposed to it was with a gentleman when I was doing like a wholesale deal. We had to get one of the sellers to sign a document. When she got there, she didn't have her ID, but she had her uncle with her. So the notary there, he asked her, he said, there's a way I can do it with credible witness. And, I would just have to see your ID. I will log in your information as well. And I will state that we use you as a credible witness. So that was my first time being exposed to it. And then I ended up calling the state and just to verify, and everything was good. And so it's fairly easy based on your state laws. Like if I'm notarizing something for Griff, and Griff doesn't have his ID with him that day, but Q is there, I will use Q as a credible witness. I will log Q in my notary journal, and on the certificate, where it asks you what you use for identification. Since Griff doesn't have an ID, I will just put credible witness.
Correct.
So I will log you in, Griff. I will log you, Q, even though you're not signing the document. I will log you as a credible witness, and then just make sure everything is logged. It's fairly easy, but you have to understand what you can do as far as your state laws. So that's one way. And I only use that in dire situation. I don't make it a habit. I always inform them, hey, I need you to have an ID. So unless it's a dire situation, that's the only time that I'll use a credible witness.
Right. I'll tell you what, if I ever got to be a credible witness for anybody, I'm charging them. $5 for a credible witness.
Yeah.
You're gonna be around me without an ID. Yeah, I'm charging you $5, my homie, for me to sit here and say you are who you say you are.
Oh man. Say $5.
Yeah. Now a lot of y'all, again, and this is for Rose. Okay, let me ask Sunset. You asked about being a wedding officiant. There's a lady named I think it's Ashley Cunningham. I think that's her last name, Cunningham. You can find her on Clubhouse and also on Instagram. She does affirmations, but she's also she's a justice of the peace. I think that's the proper way. She was talking about that today. And there's a certain way you can do it here in Virginia. You have to be basically a justice of the peace and all of that. But I'm not trying to do that. I ain't trying to marry nobody. So I mean, you can do that.
It's the same way in Massachusetts. You have to put in the application. It's fairly easy. I thought about doing it, but I don't know, man. Like I'm still on the fence about it. So I thought about doing it, but it's very easy. It doesn't take long and it's not expensive.
No, I just don't feel. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like trying to marry nobody. I don't feel like doing that. I mean,
I don't blame you. I ain't with it.
You gotta manage that. I mean, because if you're good at it, because anything you do, you're gonna try to be great at it.
Yep.
So if you're great at it and people request you, then it's like, okay, what one of my other streams of incomes got to suffer in order to do that? Because that's the first thing that I think of. I mean, just like now I'm doing the working with this new home development. Okay, if this stays in place and I'm driving an hour to get there, okay, well, I already know I might not be able to do as many house inspections because I'm out there doing that. So if I'm doing 5 or more a month, it could be difficult for me to have the time to do the house inspections. So that means that 1,300 that I'm doing in house inspections can drop down to 800 or less. Am I okay with that? And then I still have to balance the other level of signing companies. So now I got to deal with signing companies saying, hey, and then the direct client that's like, hey, we got this signing on Tuesday. You available? And if I'm already booked, and that has happened to me already, I was supposed to do one today, but I was like, I'm already booked at 10. They was like, and I wasn't going to do Fritter Friday. If they would, I told them, I said, I can do it at 2. And if they would have told me 2 o'clock, I wasn't going to do Fritter Friday today because I was going to be doing that with them. But they said, no, don't worry, we'll get someone else. I said, okay, no problem. But that's the other aspect that I have to take in account. And I'll be honest, I was nervous about it because now that I built up a reputation with the signing companies over these last couple of years, and some of them reach out to me directly, the signing companies, and they're like, okay, we want you for here, here, and here. Like I'm already booked for like 3 closings next month. Well, what happens if the closings that I'm booked for next month, the new company wants me, the direct client wants me at that same time? Now, what do I do? How do I manage that? You see what I'm saying? Do I not take these orders that's coming in from the signing companies that's guaranteed to have me booked for this time? You know, and then if I say no to the direct client and then the signing company order cancels, I can't necessarily go back to them and say, okay, I'm free now. They'd already reassigned it. They already assigned it to someone else. So everybody's talking about doing all of this stuff. You got to be able to manage it. And then you could end up like, I missed out with the direct client, the signing company canceled, and I pass up on the house inspection. And guess what? Today I ain't making no money. Yeah, that's the reality of it. That is the reality of it that nobody is talking to y'all about. You're not going to hear that from anybody. Nobody's saying that stuff. They're just like, do this, do that, dot, add all this stuff on, and then you get overwhelmed and you just straight up have a fit. So back to what I was saying earlier about explaining the document. If you take the time out and just read this, it's not even that many lines. All this is basically saying is this is a title. The title company and the bank has a corrections agreement and limited power of attorney, as it says here, as the lender limited power of attorney to correct, sign, and or initial all typographical or clerical errors or omissions found in any document that are signed at the closing. And then it limits what it can do, and then it even down here tells you when it will expire. Yep. So the question that I have for you and notaries out there, just think about this. If you read this document and understand the point of it and what it is, the only thing there is to say is this is a corrections agreement and limited power of attorney for them to correct any kind of typographical errors for any documents that were signed today, and the power of attorney stays in place for 365 days. That's it. You don't need to spend 50, 60, or even $5 on a script to figure that out. You got the brain to figure this out. Read it, think about it, meditate on it. Okay, what is it saying? What is it not saying? It's no different than when you get a set of instructions. The instructions said, take the round thing, put it in the round hole, take the square thing, put it in the square hole. Do not put the round in the square or the square in the. Okay, so the instruction said do this. The instruction didn't say that, and then you work with that and you operate on that. So these are this is telling you this is what this is about. What is so hard to understand for you as a notary, and why wouldn't they understand this? So that's why I have a problem when somebody says, I don't understand these documents. Well, did you read this? What is it that you don't understand? And that's another thing I keep sharing with y'all. If the borrower says, I don't understand this document, ask them, what is it that you don't understand? So please read the document and help me understand what you don't understand. Because if I know what you don't understand, then I can move forward in getting you the proper help. I don't need to know what you do understand. I need to know what you don't understand. And a lot of times it's, well, I don't understand why I even have to sign this. Why is this here? Okay. And just so y'all can know what a loan officer told me, if they don't sign this, what that means is any errors that they find, they're going to have to take time out and send the documents back to them to get it done.
Yep.
It will correct it and then send it back to them to get it fixed, which can delay the loan closing process. So you're giving them this power of attorney so as to keep the thing moving forward. In other words, they have every intent on making sure this thing pops off right, and they don't want it delayed by constantly sending stuff back and forth to you. So if you sign this, and then there's some companies that give you the option to reject it or accept it. And if you reject it, just know that you're going to be getting a phone call to say, hey, you need to get this fixed. And if you don't get it fixed, we can't fund the loan.
Yeah, that's the best. Yeah, that's definitely the best way to describe it. As far as that, I've never had any signer refuse to sign this, because pretty much how you just explain it is what I tell them. Like, you're just giving them limited power of attorney in case there's an error. That way, there's no delay. So that's pretty much the same thing that you just said. And I think that's a quick way to summarize it. I know some people might look at this document, they get frustrated, they start stretching themselves out, but that's exactly what all that right there. You just giving them permission to make a correction. That's all it is.
Right.
And
people think it's something crazy going on. Now, I had an attorney. He refused to sign it. He was like, I ain't signing it. Yeah, I had an attorney, and now based off of what the attorney went and researched and told me that his real estate attorney told him, I was able to share it with another guy. It helped me explain it a little better. But the guy was like, I don't give nobody the power of attorney. I was like, okay. And he was looking for me to, like, I said, I'm not here to convince you to do anything. And he said, well, wait a minute. And the attorney ran off into a corner somewhere. Like I told you, they always go into a corner somewhere. And he called on the phone, talked to his people, and he was like, okay, they pointed out that it was only for 120 days. And he was like, okay, I'm cool with that.
Yeah.
And I was like, all right, cool. And then he signed it and we kept going. But there's some people, I've only had that twice where they didn't. I've had multiple times people question it, but only twice where they was like, I'm not signing it. They eventually signed it once I got somebody to talk to them and I explained it and helped them understand what the document was about. And they read it. And what it is, here's a problem. When people read, sometimes they skip over words.
Yep.
So as the second guy, when he was reading it, he skipped over the word right here where it says not. He was thinking that it was saying this limited power attorney may be used for the following purpose.
And it's all capitalized too.
Right. So this is how I got him to, and I'm telling you, notaries, this here is the hugest gold vein, not a nugget. This is the gold vein of your notary success, what I'm getting ready to tell you right now. You gotta keep asking them, what don't you understand? Mm-hmm. And he kept avoiding that question. I said, well, what don't you understand? You were like, why do they need to do this? Why do they need to change my stuff? I said, no, that's not what they're saying. Well, that's what I'm reading. I said, sir, help me understand what is it that you think you're reading? What is it that you think it's saying? What is it that you don't really understand? What's not clear to you? Yep. Well, look, I understand this and I understand that. I'm like, sir, I'm not asking you about what you understand. I want to know what's the bone of contention for you. What is making you uneasy? And then he finally broke down and told me, because they're saying that they're going to use this to increase. I said, sir, stop for a second. What does it say? Let's read it together. This limited power of attorney may not. Oh, you know what? I skipped all over that word.
Yeah.
Then he signed it and we were good to go. See, this is where critical thinking comes in at. This is where the critical thinking comes in at. And as a shameless plug, this is what the Notary Success System helps you to do.
Notary Success.
That's right. The Notary Success System
Here we go.
Get into your critical thinking. That's what we do here at the Notary Success System. We help you to get into the critical thinking. So when something like that comes up, you will be A-OK. Good stuff. The new Notary in Alabama here, Grill, still going through the library. Thank you for all of that. All right, Alabama.
Hey, Griff, looks like you have something on there regarding the credible witness. If you want me to talk about that,
Yeah, go for it.
So, just going by, I'm trying to see exactly what it says. It's from, oh man, Sunset Virtual Solution, no, JW Notary Signing Services. She said that. Yeah, she said, okay, and Cat, look. So here in Massachusetts, right? I heard a lot of notaries were saying the same thing regarding credible witness, that the notary and the signer have to know the credible witness. So my question was, if you are providing mobile services, how in the heck are you going to know the credible witness? How are you going to know?
Small town?
Yeah, unless it's a small town, like maybe less than 2,000 people? Like for me, like sometimes I travel over an hour. There's no way I know somebody that they know. Like it's impossible. So because of that, that was one of the reasons why I ended up calling, the Secretary of State up here, because I explained it to them. I'm like, to me, that doesn't make sense because I provide mobile services. There's no way that I'll be able to know the same person that the signer knows. Like it's impossible. It's impossible. So after I got my response from the Secretary of State, they said, no, you're right. It's the credible witness have to know the signer and they must take an oath. So when you are using them, you are swearing them in. You are giving them an oath that, they understand pretty much what they are doing and that they are swearing to the signer is pretty much saying they are who they say they are. So it's like I had the same situation, so I understand. So if that's the law where you at, I would say abide by your law. But I had that same situation where I had to call the Secretary of State. So if you would like, I would say just call the Secretary of State and kind of like break it down like that to them, let them know that you provide mobile services and see what they say. So yeah, right there. Huh? So over there. Yeah, so definitely call your Secretary of State. Just explain to them that you are a mobile services and see what they say about that.
If any of my friends are watching right now, don't ever use me as a credible witness because I am charging you. I'm putting that out there right now.
Look, as far as the witness, look, I've heard some people say that they charge like $125 for a witness. Like, look, charge according to your market. Like, you know what I mean? So, like, I personally, I can range it anywhere from 15, to 50. That's about it. If I'm bringing a witness, now, if I have to contact a friend of mine, interrupt their day, of course, I'm going to make sure I compensate them. But
right, of course,
as far as, I guess to a certain extent, I can see why they will charge them like more than $100 in case they end up in court for whatever reason. But for a witness, just charge whatever is, charge based off your market. And one of the ways that you can do that is call a different notary, ask them, hey, I have a power of attorney. Even if you don't, just be like, hey, I have a power of attorney. I need 2 witnesses. How much would you charge for you to bring 2 witnesses? And then just based off that, just price your services. That's how I did it when I started. My wife was calling around asking everybody what they were charging. So that way we have an idea what people are being charged in the area. So that way we are not too low. At the same time, we're not too high. So that's one of the easiest way to get your price point.
No, you're right. That's a good way of approaching it. I'm still saying I am charging my friends. You talk, so you just put. I was only going to charge $5, but you put 125 out there. So that's the bar now because I was being cheap because I love my friends. But now I'm rethinking this.
Well, if you think about it, right? Let's say you signed a power of attorney and you
Right.
acted as a credible witness,
Right.
and let's say there's a family situation where the sister didn't like how the power of attorney went, or she was not aware of it. She was out of state. She was out of the country. Now you have to go to court. Guess what? The notary that's being summoned to court, the credible witness, have to go to court as well.
$250.
So it's like you
250.
have to leverage. You have to.
$250.
You have to leverage all this, but that's something for you guys to really consider and see how you can, if that's a way that you can implement it within your business. Because if you think about it, for those of us that's doing power of attorneys in nursing home and hospitals, that's a way to upsell your service. Hey, I can provide the credible witness. We charge an additional fee because most of the time the nurses at the hospital do not want to sign.
A lot of times
Case
they can't.
managers, yeah, they don't want to sign. So if you can provide that witness, get your friend, get your kids if they're 18 years or older. Like, don't
Some
get your kids
facilities
at
restrict
17.
their staff from being able to sign. We have to remember that as well.
Yeah. So
and
definitely.
some people respect that and some people don't.
You are absolutely right. So definitely, just understand your state laws because you can, like power of attorneys, you can make pretty much. From my experience, I'm not saying what everybody else is doing. From my experience, you can make pretty much as you would make with a loan signing.
You can make more from my experience.
Yeah. You know what? I was trying to go all that because always, there's always that one be like, well, you can't charge this much. Look.
I mean, listen, we know that this is generally a loan signing type of platform that we have here. Griff does talk a lot about general notary work, but let's face it, Griff does a lot of loan signing. That's his business model.
Exactly.
You and I do more general notary work than what Griff does, and not to say that neither one of us are saying that there's anything wrong with loan signing, but general notary work with a POA, yeah, you can make more than what you do per signing with general notary work doing POAs and estate planning documents.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Absolutely right. This is definitely great. Let's see. So look, so you guys pretty much getting us a preview of the Notary Unsealed, right?
No, this is like a very small sliver. We're not talking all about this notary stuff on the Notary Unsealed. I refuse to do that. There's enough platforms between you and Griff to talk about notarizations. Notary Unsealed is something completely different. And you know what? I don't know if Caprentice is still in here, but for those of you that don't know, Caprentice is going to be joining us as well. So there will be 4 of us on the Notaries Unsealed. You'll get a ton of different energies from Griff, Matherin, Caprentice, and myself. We should be recording the first one this weekend.
Yeah.
But we're really excited to bring it to you. We're looking for the pod to come out on Father's Day weekend, which would be really awesome to do it since we're all fathers, except for I don't think Apprentice is a father right now, but a soon-to-be father though. So, possibly, maybe.
I was about to say, congrats.
Maybe, I don't know.
Nah, you just jinxed him now. It's a.
Did I? Oh man.
Hey, we'll see you.
Sorry.
We'll see you in about 10 months, Caprentice.
Sorry, Caprentice. Wasn't me.
Definitely was. I'm trying to see. I'm trying to see if there's. Shannon saying on all major platforms like Spotify.
Yeah, we're gonna get it out there on all major platforms. It'll be everywhere. That you could listen. Yeah, and we're gonna try to provide a nice show. We've got some interesting things lined up. I think we're gonna do some type of sweepstakes giveaway on a monthly basis for all the listeners. So provide a reason to listen. I think we've kind of ironed out what it is that we may be offering the people between Griff, Mather, and myself and Caprentice. So there will be a package coming out for everybody to win. Well, not everybody, just one person, because Yeah.
There's only one winner here. We're not doing that, supporting cast achievement award like they do nowadays. One winner. We're going old school.
Yeah, that's it. But that is definitely coming. We'll be speaking notary things. We'll be talking about life stuff, just general things that we go through throughout the daily, our daily days. A little bit of notary and a whole lot of nothing. Which, we have great conversations on the back end, and I think that you guys would really appreciate speaking to us. Notaries Unsealed is our podcast. Carter Chronicles. It is coming.
Carter Chronicles. I like that name.
I do like that. That
Carter
works.
Chronicles.
So Carter Chronicles. Make sure that you're following each of us on Instagram. As we get closer to the day, there will be more stuff coming out to kind of introduce everybody to the podcast on Instagram. Matherin, you are Matherin. Just type in Matherin.
At Matherin Notary. I'll type it up for you guys.
Yeah, Griff is at Griffin Notary Services. I think as soon as you start typing it, it'll probably come up if you're not on there. And I'm at Captivated Notary MS. There's some underscores in there. And Caprentice. Well, you know what, Shannon? I hear you about not all doing Instagram. But you know what? Get your business in the 21st century, Shannon. Okay, that's what I'm going to tell you. And the only reason I'm saying that is because Shannon is a client of mine, and we have talked a lot. I'm not disrespectful like that, Shannon. You hear me? you don't let your business be an introvert. Ooh, that's a gem from the free consultations that you get with Captivated. That is a gem right there. I just dropped for you guys. Don't let your business be an introvert. All right. Yeah, that's a little sliver of what you get with the free consultation when you reach out to Captivated to talk about your business. I'm going to seal up the notary right now. Not talking no
more. Yeah. Well, I had just got a phone call from a guy. Apparently, I did his closings. He does real estate investing, and he's in the Navy and about to get out. And he asked me. He said, "I saw that you doing classes, so he'll be in my class tomorrow morning."
Nice.
And everything.
Nice.
So I got two more spots open up for tomorrow. So if you're in Virginia, Hampton, all of that, you want training tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. Go to notarysuccesssystem.com, fill out the form, put in the message, May 28th at 10 a.m. So I'll know that you want to do it tomorrow, and we'll pull it in. Now, if I get more than my normal seat, because I normally do no more than 5 people, if I got to do a second class on tomorrow afternoon, I will, but it depends on how many people roll on up in there. But this gentleman don't know anything. He hasn't even, he just became a notary, so he don't even know how to notarize. So that's going to be interesting.
He's getting the best teacher out there.
There he is. That's what a way to start. Hey, I got a question for you, Griff, about the Notary Success System. Yeah. I know that you're in Virginia, right? Are out-of-state notaries welcome to travel out to you, and can accommodations be made? Perfect. And another question that I have is, if somebody is traveling out of state, we want to take care of them, right?
Or as what? Were they staying at and sleeping?
Oh no, not that.
No, they rent them a car.
They got to figure that out themselves.
They got
them around.
As far as time with Griff, they're gonna get some time with Griff, right?
Oh yeah. If they
I talked to somebody that was willing to drive like 4 hours to get to you the other day.
If they are, I will. Yeah, they come. They're gonna be taken care of.
Yeah.
So if you're within striking distance and driving distance, it is still up for consideration for you. Don't think just because it's in Virginia, come out. Griff gonna take care of you.
Hey, look, if you drive more than 1 hour to see Griff, I'll give you a book. I'll get you a book off Amazon about business, self-help, anything, like any topic that you have, because I feel like what Griff is doing an amazing job. The program that he's running is a must. Like, I wish I had that program when I was starting out. And for any you notaries that's out there, it's all about understanding the documents, understanding the basic. You have to know how to notarize. That's what it comes down to. Like we always say that. I know you guys probably getting tired of it. Look, at the end of the day, if you don't know how to notarize, you cannot run this business, and you cannot be calling somebody 24/7 asking them, "Hey, how do I do this? What goes after buy? What goes after SS? What does seal mean? What does no?" Fine, just learn the basic. And what Griff is doing, Griff is walking you through it. It's not a Zoom. You actually there. You see the man. You see but I'm not sure if you're seeing all his gadget. That's 007 Griff. Like you seeing him. You're having that one-on-one moment, and you can definitely open up and share what you are struggling with. And I feel like if you guys look, if you are able to do it, just get it done. If you're having question after watching his videos, just take the training. That's what I'm recommending to you all. And then if you do drive for more than an hour, let me know. I'll write you I'll give you a book. I'll get you something off Amazon.
Yeah, and there's some people coming because for June, because what I did was I sent the email out last night to all the people for June that's out of the area for all the dates in June. So in June, it's going to be a little different. Like tomorrow, I'm doing at 10 in the morning, but starting in June, I'm going to be doing at 5 in the afternoon because there's some things I'm going to have to take care of in the mornings and early afternoon. So 5 in the afternoon on Saturdays, and then on Sundays, it's going to be 2 sessions, 8 in the morning and 4:30 in the afternoon. So I had one lady, my first one, she came in at 8. It was me and her, 8 o'clock in the morning. She right there. She was actually there about 7:30, and she came down from Yorktown, Virginia. So that was about an hour away and everything. And so we did our training. Then other people came. One person came from Suffolk on that Saturday. Then a lady who I did some face-to-face training with about a year and a half ago, she came for my afternoon one. So if only one person shows up, I will work with you. If 2 people come and 3 people, no more than 5, I will work with you and everything and make sure you get what you need to get. But, nobody wants to, I mean, let's just be real. And I'm not trying to pick on you notary trainers out there, but a lot of you, y'all going for the maximum amount of dollars you can make because you're trying to go floating from place to place, doing the conference rooms, doing these these large group settings. And honestly, it's nothing wrong with that. But when you really think about what it is that notaries are struggling with, how do you as an educator get all of the notaries in that room to be able to leave there confident that they know what they need to know? Because sometimes just pointing at the PowerPoint and handing them a booklet may not do them all any good. Now, granted, if you got 25, like for me, I would be looking for at least 17 to 20 people to walk out of there out of 25. Like, okay, I'm confident. I know you can't get all 25, but if you're a trainer and you only got 8 to 10 people out of 25 saying, okay, I'm good to go, that's a huge gap. That's a lot of people that's not going out there equipped and confident and ready to go. So my goal is not about the number of people. It's about the quality of the education that I can help somebody. So if I believe I can get all 5 people confident to go out there. And if I get those 5 people, then another 5 and then another 5, maybe at some point in time, I could expand it to doing 10 or 15 people. But even with that, that's where I would have to have another teacher or 2. And we do a group thing where, okay, you work with these 5, I work with these 5, you work with those 5. And yes, you can have 15, 20 people, but they all still need to be in a small group because some people's personality, they get intimidated when they get around larger groups of people. And the larger the group, the more there's going to be, the more chances somebody's going to be like, oh, I know what I'm doing. And they're going to be the person who wants to be the shining star of the session, and then that person can take over and intimidate other notaries to the point to where they shut down.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't want anybody shutting down. I want you to feel confident, you know, in doing this. And okay, well, cool. So, and I learned this again from my wife because she does small group sessions. In the small group, you're able to address each person. You're able to see everybody. You're able to pick up when somebody is drifting and all of that. And it's like, okay, so I see somebody, okay, look, you're next. Me next, yeah, you're next. Come on up. We doing a signing with them. Now we're going to do the closing with you to keep them engaged. But when you got 10, 15, 20 people, you can have 3 people disengaged, 4 people trying to figure out why they're even there.
Yeah.
And now you got, that means that's 7 people out of 15, almost half are not even focused.
Yeah.
Now, it's not that they can't be focused, but I'm finding out that if you take those 7 and broke them up into smaller groups, you can keep them focused. But their personality is that the larger the group, the less focus I get and the more intimidated I am. And I'm like that in certain cases. It's like, okay, I would in certain situations, I shut down. I don't say a word. But at the same time, I'm trying to learn. I may not be as engaging as you hear me now, but it's like, okay, cool. You know, because again, when I see the guy who wants to be the big man on campus, okay, go for it. And then once he does his thing, he shows off, then I come back around and like, okay, instructor, I need to know this. I need to know that, you know, and I'm trying to keep people from feeling embarrassed. Look, yesterday doing my live, I did a quick live yesterday and I asked a simple question. I said, how many people paid for training and didn't finish it? Put a 1 in the comment section. That's what I said yesterday. And I waited a few minutes and one person said me. Yeah. And you say you seen me shut down or seen other people shut down? Yeah, I will shut down. I will shut down. And I asked them to put a 1 in the thing that if they, you know, took training and didn't complete it. Nobody wanted to admit to that except for one lady. So I told her, I said, so I'm waiting, and nobody else. So I told her, I said, well, you know what? This weekend, me and you'll do a 1-on-1 together. Now, what I had planned to do was whoever had responded at that time, I was going to get and do a 1-on-1 with all of them. You know, I mean, not a 1-on-1, but a group session with all of them. Like, okay, hey, let's get together and figure out what's going on with y'all. Free of charge. Just, hey, let's chat it up. But nobody wants to be honest about where they're at. Everybody wants to pretend like, oh, no, I'm good. But they struggling. And they calling Q, they calling Matthew, they calling me, they calling Jacqueline from Notary. They calling everybody for help. Okay, but when we was in the clubhouse, when we was on Facebook, when we was in this group, when we was here, you ain't even say anything. I don't want nobody to know I'm struggling. You know, sometimes you got to be open and honest publicly in certain cases about things, you know. So that lady, so she called me and me and her will be getting together this Sunday and I'm going to be helping her out 1-on-1
nice
with her stuff, you know, and all of that. So this is what's going on, people. You know, you just got to be willing to step out there and all of that. All right, fellas, I think we've given the people a lot for the day. A lot to go back and look at on the replay and all of that. So hey, if y'all are not subscribed to Matherin, man, I feel like the Brady Bunch here. If y'all, I'm serious. I'm just trying to make sure I'm pointing the right direction. If y'all not subscribed down here to Matherin, y'all need to subscribe to his YouTube channel. He needs to be at 1,000 subscribers.
Appreciate that.
Before Memorial Day over. By June 1st, he need to be at 1,000 subscribers. You had about what, 700 now?
Nah, not quite. I'm making my way up there. I'm at 315 or something like that.
Oh yeah. Look, y'all. Yeah, no. Oh yeah, we need you at 5 most definitely, so you can do the lives.
Yeah.
So this weekend, y'all, if y'all not subscribed, tell man TT, tell your kids, or everybody. I don't care if your kids don't like. They can be on TikTok. Say, look, go subscribe. Tell all your teenager kids subscribe to Matherin. Tell them they come over. The little dude come over trying to talk to your daughter and say, okay, before you even try to take her out tonight, you got to subscribe to Matherin. Who? Subscribe here. Subscribe to Matherin, and then you can take my daughter out.
Oh man.
It's that simple. That's simple. That's simple. You just subscribe, and then you can take Shaquanda out. If you don't subscribe, you ain't taking little Shaquanda, Kylie, Karen, Becky, whoever. You ain't taking her out. You ain't taking nobody out.
Oh, see, that ain't my daughter, because he's gonna subscribe and I'm gonna shut the door in his face and tell him bye. Goodbye.
Pretty much. Now I appreciate that, Griff. And I appreciate everybody on here. I appreciate those who already subscribed, those that are going to subscribe. So, I hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. Don't be doing anything too crazy out there, man. Just also be aware of your surroundings. Things been crazy lately.
Yeah.
Be aware of your surroundings. Like,
cover your 6 at all times.
At all times. Yeah. You just never know.
Yeah, don't take anything or anybody for granted or just like, okay, don't think that somebody won't do something to you, or set you up. So when I go, I drive, I park, I'm looking, sometimes when I do my signings, I drive through the neighborhood. I get there a little early, and I don't care whether it's a good neighborhood, quote unquote, bad neighborhood. I drive through and I look, I figure out me a good place to park, all of that. I'm scoping. Even when I pull off to the side of the road, a lot of times I'll pull off into a church, a nice church parking lot, nice, okay. And I'm looking, even if I pull off to the side in a neighborhood, I try to pull to a point where I'm not parked directly in front of somebody's house, because some people like, who's that in front of my house? They don't know me and all of that. So I find a nice little spot. Sometimes I'll drive in the neighborhood. Okay, that's where I'm going. Then I'll drive back out and go park somewhere else until it's time for me to go in there. Because some neighborhoods you can clearly see, if you park and they're not used to a vehicle there, they're going to trip. They're going to trip out. They're like, so I like, okay, nah. And one of the other things, when you're in these neighborhoods and you see other people, they walking their dogs and cats and squirrels and whatever, and they just walking, wave at them. Don't, when you see them, don't start like doing all of that. Like, you don't want them to make eye contact. I look them in the eye. They walk by my car. Hey, how you doing?
Yeah.
All of that kind of stuff. I wave at them and acknowledge them, because sometimes if they look at you and then you start like, they be like,
hey, I do the same thing in my neighborhood when I be outside with the kids. Somebody drive by and I'm looking, because I'm like, what car is that if I don't know the car? I'm guilty of it. I look,
Yeah.
But I'm so used to my neighborhood, everybody know each other. So hey, how we doing? What's going on?
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the thing. So like Matthew said, be safe. Yeah. Shoot. All right, fellas. So I think we are good to go. I'm gonna go drop these docs off to UPS.
Notary success system. I'm gonna work on it. We gonna figure this out.
You gotta work on it.
Yeah.
So all right, fellas. Hope you guys have a great day.
Y'all have a good one, people.
All right.
Peace.